Good evening. Listen, come on in. Come on in. Join the fun. Join the chat. Get involved. Remember, welcome to at Good Vibes Daily 71. Also, remember, in this channel, we use events that take place in the public eye. We don't go into necessary details of someone's life, but we will use different aspects of that situation as teachable moments for us to have some growth and learn some things that we can use in our own lives. Remember, this channel is about life hacks, moments of inspiration, and really just learning from one another. I want to make that very clear. I am no expert. I just lived some life on this earth, and I can tell you about some things that have worked for me, and vice versa. We can learn from each other. Okay, so I want to welcome you all here, and thank you for coming. Um, a lot has taken place this week. A lot has taken place this week. It's a lot to unpack. A lot to unpack. And I promise you, I won't take long. I won't go through as deeply as it can go. I just want to touch on a couple of different points and aspects of what has transpired in the week in, let's say, mainstream media, okay, and the world around us, okay. So by this time, I'm sure everyone in the world has heard about the fact that an artist in music, the designer, the actor, the producer, the philanthropist. I'm sure by this point in time, everyone's heard about what has taken place with Kanye West. Mostly stemming from an interview that was done with Nori and I think DJ EFN on Drink Champs. Okay, it was a 3-hour interview, if I'm correct, and a lot was said. uh, and like I said, we're not going to deal with people's actions of people's lives. What we're going to deal with is the teachable moments in these situations. Okay? So first off, I want to be very clear. Hatred, racism, bigotry, if that is taking place anywhere, it should be put to an end. Okay? It's not something that we can sit idly by, and give passes for. I don't care who it is, regardless, race, socioeconomic class, creed, nationality, is not going to pass. So, the one thing that I want to say is, please make sure when you're fighting the cause against these kind of things, bigotry, racism, just make sure our energy is the same for everyone. Make sure you want to cancel everybody. Make sure you want to drop people from contracts and partnerships regardless of who they are. Honestly, to get even more closer to myself and yourself, I'm referring to even if family members, yes, family members or friends. You got to be careful, because you allow that in your backyard, in your home, but then you get up on Twitter, Facebook, and make comments about what somebody else said and did, but you ain't putting an end to that in your own household, in your own family, village, and circle. You're a hypocrite. Let's be clear. Let's be very clear. Let's be very honest about the situation. Okay? We need to make sure we have the same energy for whomever it is that is exercising racism, bigotry, sexism, ageism. Any ism is not allowed, is not to be tolerated. I believe it was the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. who said it best. Injustice somewhere is injustice everywhere. Racism is racism no matter where it is. Cannot be tolerated. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with this. Can't pick and choose. Can't pick and choose. Either you're going to be about it or you're not. If you're fighting for the cause, then fight for the cause all the time. So please make sure that you're hitting up every outlet. You see something that don't look right, it don't sound right, speak up. See something, say something. But make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're doing that on all accounts, with all situations. If not, you're a hypocrite. Can't tolerate that either. All right? Some things were said, some things were done. But we have to make sure that we're holding everybody to the same levels of accountability. All right? We're not going into the details of what was said and all that. We all know what was said, what was done, and everything else in between. Make sure you want to speak up now. You keep speaking up. You should have been speaking up for years now. With all the injustice, isms that's been going on. All right? So I said my piece on that. I need to know what you think about this. What do you think about what transpired? Question I have for you. Are we holding everybody accountable on the same levels at all times? I already know my answer to that question. I already know my answer. It's no. We're not. We need to make sure we're holding all people accountable for what they say or do, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, creed, nationality. Does not make a difference. Okay? Maintain that same energy all the time. Right now, we live in a time of cancel culture. Right? And that's what you want it to be, that's fine. But make sure we canceling everybody. Make sure we are canceling everybody and not some. All right? We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna make sure we keep it across the board. Okay? Which leads to another discussion point, which I want to bring up, and I really want to know what you think. What do you think? Do you believe that we are holding everybody accountable to the same degree? Do you think so? I want to know. I already told you my answer, and that's a resounding no. But we should be maintaining that same energy throughout. Every incident should have that same energy. Okay? But like I was saying, this leads to another topic I want to bring up and discuss. Entitlement. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a big trigger word these days. Entitlement. You hear it all the time now. Matter of fact, at least, you know what? I was going to be conservative and say at least 20 videos a day. No. How about 1,000 videos a day showing videos on entitlement? And by the way, Cynthia, I agree with you totally 100%. We seem to have different rules for different people. And that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. The same energy should be used all the time for everyone. But back to my entitlement situation here. It seems to me that word entitlement now, of course, is a buzzword. Everybody's using it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's saying it. Fact of the matter is, that term, the ideology behind entitlement, what it means, has always been an issue. Has always been an issue. Facts. Sorry. In fact, to talk about entitlement, I believe this week there was a movie that was released called Till. And if you don't know what this movie is, I suggest you go see it. It is the story of a young African American male named Emmett Till, who I believe was down visiting, I would like to say Mississippi. I'm sorry. I don't know the exact state. I believe it's Mississippi. And he was visiting from Chicago. And he made the mistake of either making a comment, smiling, or something very innocent for a young, by the way, he was a young teenager. Something very innocent to a young Caucasian woman. Well, this young woman went around and gave an account in which she said that he did something that was disrespectful to her. A level of entitlement. She told a story, which, by the way, she later recants the story. She lied to these folks. Well, needless to say, I believe it may have been one or two of her family members, a group of gentlemen, a group of people. I want to refrain from using the word gentleman. A group of people actually hunted the young man down and they tortured him. They tortured him This young man, I believe he was 13 or 14 years old, and they tortured him. They tortured him so badly that he was no longer recognizable by his mother. Again, a 14-year-old boy was hunted down, terrorized, and tortured because of a lie by a young woman. He was tortured and beaten so badly, he was not recognizable by his own mother. And having to deal with that, to deal with the loss of a child, unfortunately, I know exactly what that feels like. To lose a child. They recommended to her to have a closed casket because he was beaten so badly and disfigured so badly. But she decided, she had the courage and decided to have an open casket. Yeah, all the media was down. They covered the situation. They did this, that, and the third. Fact of the matter is, entitlement is what allowed this young man to be hunted down and tortured. Can you imagine the feeling you would get to know your child is missing? Young, haven't really lived their life yet. I believe he was 14 years old. And to know that he was hunted down and tortured because of a story, a lie based on entitlement. Like I said, everybody was there to cover the story. All the media was there. Plenty of interviews. But you know what, though? It didn't matter. I believe the woman recanted her story. Actually, I believe she recanted her story a few times back when this took place. But it wasn't really taken seriously. I think she may recant her story close to her deathbed. But a young boy lost his life. And let me tell you this, so you truly understand entitlement. He wasn't the first. He wasn't the last. Due to some entitlement. So when I tell you about make sure we maintain the same energy for everyone, we know the history. Let's be clear. We know the history. Let's not fool ourselves. We know what it is. If you're being honest, you know what it is. Groups have suffered because of bigotry, racism, hate, sexism. It's not acceptable for anyone. It's not acceptable. And we got to make sure we maintain the same energy regardless of who it is, when it is, how it is. It's just not acceptable. And then let me tell you also, if you sit back with a bunch of inaction and inactivity and you see what's happening, right? You see what's going on and you do nothing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you how me and my family feel, how my circle and village feel. You're just as bad as those perpetrating those situations. Sorry, it's the truth. If you're not doing anything, if you're seeing something and not saying something, if you're sitting idly by while others are being mistreated, whether in your presence or out of your presence, and you choose to do nothing, you're just as bad as those who perpetrate these actions and activities. Don't fool yourself. Just as bad as they are. Matter of fact, it might be worse. Sorry. So for all my warriors out there who every day try their best to fight the good fight, right? To speak up for those who don't have a voice. Speak up for those who may be scared to do so for themselves. For you, I salute. Because that's what we need. We need those who are going to speak up for right. Speak up for justice. You want to do it for your family and for you. We got to do it for others as well. See, if you're not living in this world right now with the understanding, I'm gonna try to leave it better than it was when I was here. I don't know. You might want to think about what your mission is. What's your purpose? And if you are standing in it, honestly, you know. But listen, I want to know what you think about what we spoke about here tonight. I want to know, you know, have you seen the Till movie, right? How do you feel about making sure that we're standing up for everybody, that we maintain that energy towards all situations of bigotry, racism, sexism, classism, uh, discrimination? Are we maintaining that energy to fight these injustices everywhere, for everyone, all the time? Now, of course, I don't expect you, if you're in, say, for instance, you may be in New York, and maybe an incident happens in California, is local, and it's not getting out to the mainstream. Nah, I don't expect you to go run over there to fight that. No, of course not. But things happen every day. Let's be clear. Little things. There ain't gotta be a grand gesture. Little things every day take place that are wrong, discriminatory. If you're there, you can speak up. And I know the world is crazy about a minute. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But we can't sit idly by while somebody's being taken advantage of, being discriminated against. We just, I can't do it. And I know the people who, are on this channel, on this page, I know you can't do it either. I know. You know what I'm saying? So all I want to say is just let's make sure that we're maintaining these energies and these activities, regardless of who is on the is up tonight, who's up tonight, who's at bat tonight, who's doing what tonight. Make sure we're constantly, giving that energy. All right. listen, I want you to understand that I'm be coming to you live. I'm gonna try to do my best to be here at least once a week to go over some topics and whatnot. And that you know, I want feedback from you. So feel free to comment. You know, and we can get a conversation going. I love it. I love to talk about these things. I love to offer advice and help where I can. Um, you know, I got boots on the ground. I'm not. We do what we have to do. We try to help as help people as we can, and we do what we can. I cannot sit by idly and watch somebody be taken advantage of. I can't. It's just not in my nature to do so. My friends, my family, my circle, my village is not. It's not in their nature to do so either. Um, so, you know, please like, you know, drop a comment, you know, subscribe to the channel, at Good Vibes Daily 71. And, I will see you in the next video. I want everybody to have a great, great weekend. As always, love is love. This is George, and I'm out.